Hello guys, since I got rank 1 with Thief Rogue once again, I thought it'd be a nice time to share a little bit of an updated mulligan, talk a little bit about cards inclusion in the most recent decks, and yeah, just let you know a little bit more about the deck if you haven't tried it too much. So let's get started. For the mulligan, straightforward, we have nulls in our deck, so what we want in our deck is tradables. We have, for that, the Blackwater Cutlass and the SI7 Extortion. Those we always just want to trade away on turn 1 to be able to make our nulls a little bit cheaper once we find them. Because the nulls are our most well done tempo tool to be able to fight against the board presence of other decks. Since you mostly are going to be under pressure. Sometimes the opponent plays a Trog on turn 1, you want to use the Cutlass to kill the Trog because your deck is very spell focused. Other cards you always keep in the mulligan are the Jackpot, the Reconnaissance, and the Null. These three cards here are basically cards that make your Null cheaper and activate your combo pieces. So I think those are the cards that give you like your early tempo back. There's hardly any other cards that you want to keep, and we'll get to those more specific ones in the mulligan tips and tricks. So, the mulligan tips and tricks. First off, we have, if I have a Jackpot, of course, we want to have a way to use those cheap spells. Then we can keep a Swift Sail Trickster that you see all the way down here. That is definitely a card that you would like to keep if you have a Jackpot. If you don't have a Jackpot, you don't want to keep the Trickster because there's often not that much to activate. If you play against decks like Mage or Warlock that are very likely to have 3 HP minions early on, you will always keep Tooth of Nefarian against them because it's a very good tempo removal while being able to upgrade your Burgle cards and being able to progress in the deck as well. Then Shroud of Concealment. This card can also be kept, doesn't have to be kept. It's much better on coin or if you have other cards that already support you having tempo. If you just play this on 3, oftentimes you're going to fall behind too much. So I generally don't recommend keeping it as often as all the other cards, as the other cards are way more important for you to get your early tempo. And then here's the very specific trick. Since you're Maestra and you can start with different classes, one card that I like to keep that I usually don't want to keep is Preparation. Preparation is very good if you're a Warlock, since you're already using your HP to tap and dig for more resources. You then want a tool like Preparation to be able to regain the tempo that you have lost by tapping, because you're losing HP, you're losing board, and you want to be able to regain whatever you have lost with the Preparation. So that's a very strong combination of cards. Then more specific keeps against like Boon Praise, you will keep the Murder Accusation. It's a good removal card, but that's pretty much it. None of the other cards are really keeps. If you play against Big Spell Mage, you will keep Theotar, because they often have swing turns where they want to make one of their really important cards cheap and then you want to steal it. And then one more card that you pretty much always keep. I haven't included it because it's not always 100% a keep, but like 95% of the time it's keep Queen Ajara. Queen Ajara will usually give you a Colossal, and then you hope that it's from a different class, and then it gets replayed by Contraband Stash, and you can regain a lot of tempo with the Colossals, because most Colossals either have Taunt or are very good reactive tools. So those are your mulligans. This is basically everything you need to know for the mulligan for this deck. Sometimes there'll be different keeps. Sometimes you'll keep a Bone Spike if you know you play against a super aggressive deck. But I think if you just keep back to the stuff that I said earlier, you're going to be very happy with the deck. And it's important not to overcomplicate your decisions too early. Then, for a little bit to gameplay tricks, here's like... if you watch my stream, you'll find that I like to strategize in certain ways, and I think the best way to learn is watch a lot of gameplay and see if you can find some cool combinations. Or, I mean, of course, just play the deck yourself and you'll find out which cool combinations work the best. Gameplay tricks, one of them, of course, is shadow stepping. your reconnaissance minions. Your reconnaissance minions will then get played twice, which works especially well with minions that give you spell power over time or very powerful when resurrected, like Crash. If you can grab Crash to give its 8 armor and then Shadow Step it, you often can get a lot of armor to get you to the late game where Sire together with another Shadow Step or Test can actually win you the game. Another kind of trick is against Bless or Priests or other decks that make like really big minions ones, that Shadow's Crafter Scabs can sometimes be okay to like maneuver around the early game and try to set up like Preparation, Bone Spike into Scabs, since you're usually not kind of beating these decks on board. And one of the things that I really want to mention is like, even if your nulls aren't 0 mana, in this deck, since you have a lot of Burgle cards, it is very, very important for you to use your mana effectively. Just play your Reconnaissance on 2. And one trick I can give you with this, if you have 3 mana, Prep Reconnaissance is usually a very strong play, unless you have a specific reason why you are not using the Prep for your Reconnaissance. You should more often than not be using the Prep for the Reconnaissance, because it gives you so much tempo getting out these early strong Death Rattle minions. I cannot overemphasize how important that is. And one last thing, and then I think I'll be done. Don't be afraid to use your Door Shadows just to draw a card. Being able to cycle a card with your last mana, if you have some left over, is a really nice combination. I hope you guys are going to have as much fun with the deck as I usually have, and you get to bamboozle some opponents, play some jackpots, and I wish you guys all the runes in the world. May they ever high roll you. And I'll see you guys on the stream. I would really appreciate it if you guys are new to this YouTube channel, so I'm trying to like get into making more videos again, just leaving a like on the channel or even subscribing. I'd appreciate that a ton. And if we actually get to the point where I can monetize this channel, I'll be able to give it to an editor so they can upload my game highlights and upload more things, because right now I can't monetize it, so I can't in good conscience tell somebody else to like just do this stuff for me without paying them. So I would like to monetize this first so I can then give it to somebody else to take it over and make like way more content. But for now I'm just going to be investing like my own free time. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys just left a like on it so I can grow this. Appreciate it, and I'll see you on stream.